High in the Laterns Valley of Western Austria, House Gapfohl rises from the Alpine pasture like a distillation of architecture's most primal impulse. Designed by Bernardo Bader Architekten and completed in 2023, this 99-square-meter mountain dwelling reinterprets the Primordial Hut, the theoretical archetype of shelter first articulated by Vitruvius and later expanded by Marc-Antoine Lagier. Captured through the measured lens of architectural photographer Gustav Willeit, the project strips the idea of an alpine home down to its essential geometry, elemental timber construction, and a deep reverence for the surrounding terrain. Resting on the grassy incline of the Laterns Ridge, the house presents an uninterrupted, steeply pitched volume clad entirely in vertical timber battens. Its weathered gray timber roof descends gracefully toward the hillside, sheltering the warm wooden living core below. A solitary dormer skylight and an inset entrance puncture the monolithic wooden shell, offering early glimpses of the warmth inside against the imposing tree-lined peaks. Seen across the wider topography, the building asserts a quiet, grounded presence among the dense fir forests. Bader elevated the lower perimeter just above the gravel approach, allowing the structure to touch the earth lightly, while echoing the agricultural barns and alpine huts scattered across the valley. The untreated wood responds directly to the climate, developing a natural silver patina that binds the architecture to the rugged mountain ridge behind it. At the roof's sharp apex, the timber cladding meets with exacting craftsmanship. Narrow vertical battens draw the eye skyward, forming a clean, triangular silhouette that mirrors the slope of the distant crest. Every junction is executed with precision, eliminating eaves and overhangs to achieve a pure, uninterrupted geometric line that cuts crisply into the alpine sky. On the lower facade, the tactile quality of the untreated larch is immediately apparent. A sliding timber panel glides seamlessly across a deep window reveal, functioning as a kinetic shutter that can close the house off against harsh mountain weather or slide open to frame outdoor vistas. Above, a flush roof window sits embedded within the corrugated vertical slats, preserving the roofline's taut, continuous plane. As dusk settles over Laterns, the house transforms into an illuminated sanctuary. The main entry is deeply carved into the timber gable, approached by a series of crisp concrete steps. Warm interior light spills outward across the threshold, establishing an intimate transition from the vast alpine wilderness into the protective embrace of the interior. Stepping inside, the house reveals a continuous timber envelope lined entirely in pale, knotty spruce. Anchoring the double-height living room is a minimalist freestanding black steel fireplace, its slender flue soaring toward the ridge to dramatize the full verticality of the pitched roof. Above, a geometric aperture in the timber partition creates an interior balcony, fostering a subtle visual dialogue between the upper sleeping level and the hearth below. The full volume of the gabled roof comes into focus in the main lounge, where the soaring timber ceiling creates an expansive, cathedral-like atmosphere within a modest 99-square-meter footprint. Generous sliding glass doors wash the spruce floorboards in natural daylight, drawing the green alpine slope directly into the living space, where understated furnishings allow the wood and light to take center stage. Framed like a panoramic canvas, the dining area gazes directly out over the dense pine canopies of the valley. A circular wooden table, paired with classic woven wishbone chairs, sits beneath a minimalist pendant dome, complemented by custom timber cabinetry that blends into the wall planes. Here, the boundary between bespoke craftsmanship and the wild outdoors dissolves completely through the expanse of frameless glazing. Tucked beneath the steep slope of the roof, the upper-level bedroom offers an intimate, cabin-like sanctuary. Custom joinery follows the angle of the roofline to provide seamless low storage, while a simple platform bed rests directly against the raw timber paneling. An open geometric partition peers down into the living zone below, maintaining a fluid sense of connection throughout the home's interior shell. The site plan illustrates how sensitively House Gapfohl is nestled into the topography of Laterns. Marked as a precise black footprint, the building sits at the exact boundary where open alpine meadow gives way to the dense forest edge. Positioned along the gentle curve of a mountain access road, the house is oriented to maximize solar exposure while capturing uninterrupted views down the Alpine Valley. On the ground floor plan, Bader's rational spatial organization becomes evident. From the sheltered, recessed entrance, a compact circulation core organizes the staircase, bathroom, and utility areas to one side, freeing the rest of the 99 square meter floor plate for an open-plan kitchen, dining, and living zone. At the southern threshold, the interior extends onto an integrated, sheltered veranda overlooking the slope. The upper-level floor plan highlights the efficiency of the mezzanine layout. Ascending the central stair reveals a compact sleeping loft and washroom neatly tucked under the eaves. By leaving more than half the floor plate entirely open as a dramatic void over the living area below, the design creates an extraordinary sense of spatial generosity within an intensely efficient footprint. A transverse building section exposes the structural clarity of the Primordial Hut concept. The steep triangular volume sits lightly upon a solid concrete foundation trench embedded into the incline. The dramatic 60-degree roof pitch effortlessly sheds heavy alpine snow loads while carving out generous vertical volume within, minimizing ground disturbance on the natural hillside. The 150 facade section reveals the sophisticated ecological engineering beneath the home's elemental timber exterior. Cross-laminated timber panels, KLH massive Holzplatten, form the load-bearing interior skin, backed by thick layers of vapor-permeable wood fiber insulation and rear-ventilated timber rain screen battens. At the base, solid larch flooring sits atop an insulated reinforced concrete foundation, creating a high-performance, thermally efficient thermal envelope crafted entirely from renewable regional resources. As night falls, the gable elevation presents the home's defining visual statement, a monumental horizontal picture window carved into the base of the triangular facade. Set within a deep timber embrasure, The glowing interior radiates warmth against the alpine twilight, transforming the compact refuge into a modern beacon of shelter in the wilderness. In Haus Gapfohl, Bernardo Bader Architekten demonstrate how rigorous architectural restraint can yield profound spatial poetry. By distilling the ancient concept of the primordial hut into clean tectonic lines, regional timber craftsmanship, and an intimate dialogue with the alpine landscape, the project proves that minimal square footage can offer an expansive way of living. It stands not merely as a modern home in the mountains, but as a quiet, enduring celebration of the mountain itself.